I stare into the camera, my voice shaky, barely holding it together. You ever love someone so much? You forget who you are. I did that for Jess for 3 years, and this is the story of the price I paid. My eyes sting, but I swallow hard, forcing the words out. 3 years of grinding myself to dust for her, and it all led to this. I'm Mike Sullivan, 30 years old, and I'm a construction worker. Used to think I was tough, calloused hands, broad shoulders, the kind of guy who could carry the world. But love? Love will break you faster than a sledgehammer. Jess was my world, my everything. She was 28, brilliant, with these big dreams of being a doctor. I'd watch her study, her dark hair falling over her face, and think, that's my future. I'd do anything to make her dreams come true. Anything. It's late, maybe 2 a.m., when I creep into our tiny apartment. The place is a dump, peeling paint, a couch I got for $50 at a yard sale, and a kitchen table wobbling on 3 legs. My boots creak on the warped floorboards, and I wince, not wanting to wake her. I'm beat, my back screaming from a 12-hour shift hauling rebar under the Texas sun. My face feels like it's caving in. Hollow cheeks, dark circles under my eyes that make me look 40 instead of 30. I haven't eaten since noon, just a stale gas station burrito, but I don't care. All I care about is her. Jess is slumped over the kitchen table, surrounded by textbooks thicker than my arm. Her laptop is still glowing, casting shadows on her face. She's out cold, one cheek pressed against a page of scribbled notes. My chest tightens. She's killing herself for this medical school dream, and I'm killing myself to keep her there. Tuition, rent, groceries, it all lands on me. I don't mind. Or at least, I tell myself I don't. I grab a blanket from the couch and drape it over her shoulders, careful not to jostle her. She stirs, mumbling something about anatomy finals. And I smile, even though it hurts. That's my Jess. Always pushing, always chasing. I brush a strand of hair from her face, and for a second I feel like we're okay. Like, all this sacrifice is worth it. Then, her phone buzzes on the table, screen lighting up. I glance at it, not thinking much, but the name catches my eye. B. The message preview reads, "Don't forget your promise. Graduation day is your freedom." My stomach lurches. Freedom? From what? From me? I blink, my brain scrambling to make sense of it. Jess shifts, her hand darting to the phone, and she swipes the message away before I can read more. Her eyes meet mine, and for a split second, I see something. Guilt, maybe? But then she smiles, that same smile that hooked me 3 years ago, and I push the doubt down. "Mike, you're home," she says, voice soft but tired. She glances at my dirty work clothes, the mud caked on my boots, and her smile falters. Not much, just enough to sting. I feel it, that invisible gap between us, widening every day. She's heading for a white coat and a stethoscope. I'm stuck in steel-toed boots and a hard hat, but I love her. God, I love her. "You should sleep," I say, my voice rougher than I mean it to be. "You're gonna burn out." She nods, but her eyes are already back on her books. "I got accepted into the residency program today," she says, her voice lighting up. "Top pick, Mike. It's happening." I grin, even though my chest feels like it's caving in. That's my girl. I pull her into a hug, and she lets me, but it's not the same. Her arms are loose, like she's already somewhere else. "We're gonna celebrate," I say, trying to sound excited. "When you graduate, we'll do it big, whatever you want." She pulls back, her eyes flickering. "Yeah. My future's finally coming together." My future, not ours. The words hit like a punch, but I don't let it show. I can't. She's worked too hard, and I've given too much to let doubt creep in now. But that message from B keeps gnawing at me. Who the hell is B? Why is she hiding it? I want to ask, but my tongue feels heavy, like it's glued to the roof of my mouth. Instead, I kiss her forehead and head to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face. The mirror shows a stranger, gaunt, eyes bloodshot. A guy who's poured every drop of himself into someone else's dream. I grip the sink, my knuckles white, and whisper, "It's worth it. She's worth it." Back in the kitchen, Jess is back to her books, the blanket I gave her slipping off her shoulder. I watch her for a moment, my heart caught between love and something darker, fear maybe. I've given her everything, my savings, my health, my damn soul. But what if it's not enough? What if I'm not enough? I shake my head, trying to shove the thought away. Hope's all I've got left, and I'm clinging to it like a lifeline. But as I crawl into bed, the springs creaking under my weight, that message from B burns in my mind. Graduation day is your freedom. I close my eyes, but sleep doesn't come. Instead, I'm left with a question I'm too scared to answer. Is hope enough to hold us together? So, tell me, have you ever sacrificed everything for someone you love? Drop it in the comments. I need to know I'm not alone in this. I let out a heavy sigh, my breath fogging the camera lens for a second. I thought that day would be the brightest sunrise of my life, but it turned out to be the storm that tore me apart. My voice cracks, and I don't bother hiding it. This is the part where everything I built with Jess, every late night, every skipped meal, every dollar I scraped together, came crashing down. It's a week before Jess's med school graduation, and I'm sitting at Earl's Diner, a greasy spoon on the edge of Austin. The place smells like burnt coffee and bacon, with red vinyl booths cracked from years of use. Earl, this 70-year-old guy with a face like weathered leather, pours me a cup of black sludge and leans on the counter. He's got this calm way about him, like he's seen every kind of heartbreak there is. I'm nursing a headache from another 14-hour shift, my hands still gritty with construction dust, when he starts talking. "Ever tell you about my ex-wife, Mike?" Earl says, wiping a glass with a rag that's seen better days. I shake my head, half listening. Supported her through med school, just like you're doing for Jess. Worked double shifts, ate canned beans for dinner so she could have her books. Day she graduated, she handed me divorce papers. Said she needed someone on her level. He chuckles, but it's hollow, like he's laughing at his younger self. Funny how history repeats. Ain't it? I freeze, my coffee cup halfway to my mouth. His words hit too close, like he's reading my life off a script. I try to laugh it off, but my gut's churning. Nah. Jess wouldn't do that, I say, more to convince myself than him. She's different. But Earl just raises an eyebrow, and that doubt I've been shoving down since I saw that B text creeps back up, clawing at my chest. I leave the diner, my head spinning, but I'm determined to make things right with Jess. I've got a plan, a surprise to remind her we're still us. I stop by a florist and blow $40, half my grocery budget, on a bouquet of roses, her favorite. Then I swing by the store for ingredients to make her mom's faux recipe, the one she used to beg for when we first started dating. My hands are shaking as I carry the bags, not just from exhaustion, but from this gnawing fear I can't shake. I'm running on fumes, haven't slept more than 4 hours a night in weeks, my body aching like I'm 50 instead of 30. At a red light, I catch my reflection in the rearview mirror. Sunken eyes, stubble patchy from stress. I barely recognize myself. When I get to our apartment, I'm ready to cook, to see her smile, to feel like we're a team again. But there's a car parked out front I don't recognize. A sleek black BMW that looks like it costs more than I make in a year. My stomach twists, but I tell myself it's nothing, maybe a friend's visiting. I climb the stairs, roses in one hand, grocery bag in the other. My boots heavy on the creaky steps. I open the door, and the world stops. Brittany, Jess's best friend from med school, is sprawled on our couch like she owns the place, sipping wine from one of our chipped mugs. Jess is standing by the kitchen counter, her arms crossed, her face blank. No textbooks, no laptop, just a stack of papers in front of her. The air feels wrong, thick, like I've walked into someone else's life. "Mike," Jess says, her voice flat, like she's reading a script. "We need to talk." I set the roses on the counter, my hands moving slow. like I'm underwater. What's going on? I ask, but I already know. I can feel it in my bones. She slides the papers toward me. Divorce papers. My name's already typed out. Michael Sullivan. I'm sorry, she says, but there's no warmth in it. I need someone who's going somewhere. Someone who can keep up with me. You're not that guy, Mike. The room spins. Brittany smirks from the couch, swirling her wine, and I realize she's B. Not a guy, not some secret lover, just her friend, egging her on, feeding her this idea that I'm not enough. I want to scream, to throw the papers in her face, to ask how she could do this after everything I've given up. But my throat's tight, and all I can do is stare at the roses, their petals already wilting under the fluorescent light. You're serious? I manage, my voice barely a whisper. Jess looks away, her jaw tight. I graduate next week. I need a clean start. You should too. A clean start. After 3 years of me breaking my back so she could chase her dream. I think about all the times I went hungry so she could eat. The hospital bills I'm still paying from when I worked through a busted shoulder. The nights I lay awake, wondering if she even saw me anymore. And now this. The roses slip from my hand, hitting the floor with a soft thud. Petals scatter across the linoleum, and the sound feels louder than it should, like my heart's breaking in slow motion. I pick up the pen, my hand trembling, and sign the papers. My signature's messy, but it's done. I set the pen down, pull my keys from my pocket, and place them next to the papers. Good luck, Jess, I say, my voice steady even though I'm shattering inside. I mean that. I turn and walk out, past Brittany's smug grin, past the BMW gleaming in the parking lot, past the life I thought I'd have. The door clicks shut behind me, and I'm alone. The night air's warm, but I'm shivering, my chest so tight I can barely breathe. I climb into my beat-up truck, the engine sputtering to life, and just drive. No destination, no plan, just the hum of the road and the weight of everything I've lost. I don't know where I'm going, but I can't stay here. Not in this city, not in this life. Jess is gone, and she took every piece of me with her. So what do I do now? Where do you go when your whole world burns down? Stick around to find out, because I'm not sure I've hit rock bottom yet. What would you have done in my shoes? Drop it in the comments. I could use some perspective. I look into the camera, my voice low, rough around the edges. When your world falls apart, all you've got is a rusty truck, $47, and a long road to find yourself again. My hands are steadier now, but my eyes still carry the weight of those days. This is where I hit bottom, where I thought I'd break for good, but also where I started to see a flicker of light. It's been 3 days since I walked out of that apartment, leaving Jess and my old life behind. 3 days of driving aimlessly, sleeping in the cab of my truck, eating stale bread and peanut butter from a gas station. My clothes stink, my face is scruffy, and my eyes are so red they burn. I catch a glimpse of myself in the rearview mirror, cheeks hollow, skin sallow, like I've aged a decade overnight. I'm 30, but I look closer to 50. My hands grip the wheel, knuckles white, as I try to outrun the ache in my chest. But you can't outrun a broken heart. I end up in Havenwood, a speck of a town a few hours from Austin. It's the kind of place you'd miss if you blinked. One stoplight, a diner, a hardware store, and a bakery that smells like warm sugar. My truck's running on fumes, and so am I. I pull into Earl's diner, the same Earl who spooked me with his story about his ex-wife. The neon sign flickers, and the bell above the door jingles as I step inside. The place is quiet. Just a couple of old-timers nursing coffee at the counter. Earl's behind the grill, flipping pancakes, his gray hair tied back in a stubby ponytail. He spots me and freezes, his eyes narrowing. "Mike Sullivan," he says, like he's been expecting me. "You look like hell." I try to laugh, but it comes out more like a cough. Feel like it too. I slide into a booth, my legs shaky, and order the cheapest thing on the menu, a $3 plate of eggs and toast. My stomach's growling, but I'm more tired than hungry. I just want to sit somewhere that doesn't smell like motor oil and regret. Earl brings the food himself, sitting across from me like we're old friends. "How did you end up here, kid?" he asks, his voice gentle but probing. I stare at the eggs, my throat tight. "Jess," I say, the name cutting like glass. She's gone. Divorce papers, the whole deal. Said I wasn't enough. The words spill out, raw and jagged, and I hate how weak they make me sound. Earl leans back, his face softening. "Knew you were trouble the minute you walked into my diner last week. Too much like me at your age." He pauses, then drops a bomb. "Your brother David called me a few days ago. Told me you might need a place to crash. Said you're stubborn as a mule, but worth saving." I blink, my fork frozen halfway to my mouth. "David? How the hell do you know my brother?" David's 5 years older, a mechanic who's been bailing me out of trouble since we were kids. But I haven't talked to him in months, not since I started drowning in Jess's dreams. Earl shrugs. "Met him at a car show a few years back. Kept in touch. When he heard about you and Jess, he figured you'd end up somewhere like this. Lost. Looking for answers." He leans forward, his eyes locking onto mine. "You're not the first guy to get his heart stomped on, Mike. But you're still here. That's something." I don't know what to say. My brother's out there, still watching my back. And this old man I barely know is acting like he gives a damn. It's too much. My eyes burn, and before I can stop it, I'm crying. Big, ugly sobs that shake my whole body. I haven't cried since I was a kid, not even when Jess handed me those papers. But here, in this dingy diner with its cracked linoleum and buzzing fluorescent lights, it all comes pouring out. Earl doesn't say a word, just puts a hand on my shoulder, steady and warm. It's the first time in months I've felt seen. Meanwhile, Jess is in a different world. She's in a sleek new apartment in downtown Austin, all glass walls and stainless steel. Brittany's there, popping champagne to celebrate Jess's graduation. But Jess isn't smiling. She's staring at her phone, her thumb hovering over my number. She doesn't call me. She calls David instead. "I screwed up," she says, her voice trembling. "Brittany's been using me. Pushing me to ditch Mike for her own reasons. I need to find him, David. I need to make this right." David's voice is cold. "You broke him, Jess. You don't get to decide when he's ready to see you." She hangs up, tears streaming down her face, and for the first time she feels the weight of what she's done. Her apartment, her new life, it's all hollow. She's got everything she wanted, but it's not enough. Back in Havenwood, I'm trying to piece myself together. Earl gives me a job washing dishes, $10 an hour, and lets me sleep in a cot in the diner's back room. It's not much, but it's a start. I spend my days scrubbing plates, my nights staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment with Jess. Was there a sign I missed? Could I have fought harder? The questions eat me alive, but Earl's there, dropping bits of wisdom between orders. "You can't change the past, kid," he says one night, handing me a beer. "But you can decide who you're going to be tomorrow." I start working construction again, small jobs around Havenwood. The physical labor feels good, hammering nails, hauling lumber, building something solid. My body's still weak, but it's getting stronger. I notice it one morning when I catch my reflection in a hardware store window. My shoulders are broader, my face less gaunt. I'm not the ghost I was a week ago. Then there's Clara, this woman who works at the bakery across the street. She's 32, quiet, with warm brown eyes and flour-dusted aprons. She brings leftover pastries to the diner sometimes, and we start talking. She's got this way of listening, really listening, that makes me feel like I'm more than my mistakes. One day, she catches me staring at the sunset, and we talk for hours about nothing and everything. I don't know it yet, but she's going to be important. Jess, though, she's not done with me. David tells me she's been calling him, asking where I am. She's been to 3 towns already, chasing rumors of a guy who sounds like me. Part of me wants to see her, to scream at her, to ask why, but another part, the part that's starting to heal, wants nothing to do with her. I'm not ready to face her. Not yet. I'm sitting in Earl's one night, the diner empty, except for me and a lukewarm coffee. My hands are calloused again, my arms stronger from swinging a hammer. I'm not fixed, not even close, but I'm starting to feel alive. Like maybe I can be more than Jess's leftovers. But the past is a heavy thing, and I can't help wondering, will it let me go? And what happens if Jess finds me before I'm ready? So, what do you think? Does Jess deserve a chance to make things right? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm still figuring this out. I flash a small smile at the camera, my voice steadier than it's been in months. 8 months later, I started finding myself again. But the past? It's got a way of sneaking back in. I lean back, the weight of those words settling in. This is where I finally felt the ground under my feet, only to have it shake when Jess showed up, dragging our history with her. It's been 8 months since I rolled into Havenwood, a broken man with nothing but a beat-up truck and a heart full of splinters. Now, I'm different. I've got a small rental house on the edge of town, a fixer-upper I've been pouring my sweat into. The walls are freshly painted, the floors sanded smooth, and sunlight pours through windows I replaced myself. I'm stronger too. My arms are corded from construction work, my face fuller, no longer the hollowed-out shell I was. I even got a haircut, trading the shaggy mess for something sharp, like I'm ready to face the world. For the first time in years, I feel like Mike Sullivan again, not just Jess's shadow. Havenwood's become home. Earl's Diner is my anchor, where I still wash dishes some nights and shoot the breeze with the old man. He's more than a boss now. More like the dad I never had. Then, there's Clara, the baker, across the street. She's got this quiet strength, like she's been through hell, but came out softer, not harder. We've been spending more time together, sharing coffee at dawn or fixing up my place. She's not Jess. And that's the best thing about her. With Clara, I don't feel like I'm auditioning for a role I'll never get. One morning, I'm at the bakery, helping Clara fix a leaky pipe under the sink. My shirt's soaked, and she's laughing at my half-assed plumbing skills. "You're better with a hammer, Mike," she teases, tossing me a towel. We're sitting on the floor, catching our breath, when she gets quiet. "You ever going to tell me what brought you here?" she asks, her eyes searching mine. I hesitate, the old pain stirring. But something about her makes it easy to talk, so I tell her. About Jess, the sacrifices, the divorce papers. The way I poured my soul into someone who threw it away. Clara listens, her face still, but her hand brushes mine. Just for a second, then she says, "I get it, Mike. My ex-husband left me 3 years ago, said I wasn't enough for his big city dreams. I came to Havenwood to heal, same as you." Her voice is steady, but there's a crack in it, like the wound's still there. Took me a long time to realize I'm enough, just as I am. I'm stunned. I knew Clara was deep, but this, it's like looking in a mirror. "How'd you get through it?" I ask, my voice low. She smiles, soft but sure. "One day at a time. And good people like Earl. Like you." My chest warms, and for the first time, I let myself imagine a future that isn't haunted by Jess. But the past isn't done with me. That afternoon, I'm at Earl's, scrubbing pots, when the bell above the door jingles. I don't look up, probably just another regular. But then I hear Earl mutter, "Well, I'll be damned." I turn, and there she is, Jess. She's standing in the doorway, her dark hair pulled back, her face pale and drawn. Her eyes are ringed with shadows, like she hasn't slept in weeks. She's wearing a coat too big for her, clutching a purse that looks expensive, but worn. My heart slams against my ribs, but it's not the old ache. It's something colder, sharper. "Mike," she says, her voice small, like she's afraid I'll bolt. "I've been looking for you." I freeze, the sponge dripping in my hand. 8 months ago, I'd have crumbled at the sight of her. Now, I'm not sure what I feel. Anger, maybe. Curiosity, definitely. But not love. Not anymore. What are you doing here, Jess? I ask, my voice flat. She steps closer, her hands twisting the strap of her purse. I went to 5 towns, Mike. Asked everyone who'd listen if they'd seen you. I messed up. I need to talk. Earl's watching from the counter, his eyes sharp. He doesn't say anything, but I can feel his warning. I wipe my hands on a rag and nod toward a booth. 5 minutes, I say, and she sits, looking smaller than I remember. That night, I'm at Earl's after closing, nursing a beer. He's wiping down the counter, slow and deliberate. She's trouble, Mike, he says. Seen that look before. My ex came back once, begging forgiveness. I let her in, and it cost me another year of pain. You ever forgive her? I ask, staring at the bottle. Earl nods. Took a while, but yeah, forgave her for me, not her. Let me move on. But forgiving, don't mean forgetting. Or letting him back in. He points a finger at me. You're not that kid who rolled in here. Half dead. Don't let her drag you back there. His words stick with me. I'm not that guy anymore. I've got a life here, a house, a job, people who care. I've got Clara, who sees me, not some version of me she wishes I was. But Jess's face keeps flashing in my mind, those tired eyes, that desperate voice. Part of me wants to hear her out, to understand why she's here. The other part wants to run. The next day, I'm at my house, sanding a bookshelf I built, when Clara stops by with a tray of cinnamon rolls. She takes one look at my face and knows something's up. Spill it, Sullivan, she says, sitting on my porch steps. I tell her about Jess, how she showed up, how she's been chasing me across Texas. Clara's quiet for a long time, then says, You don't owe her anything, Mike. But you owe yourself the truth. Figure out what you need to close that door for good. She's right. I've been running from Jess's ghost for too long. I need to face her, not for her sake, but for mine. I take a deep breath, the smell of sawdust and cinnamon grounding me. Thanks, Clara, I say, and she squeezes my hand, her touch steady. That night, I'm at Earl's. The diner, quiet, except for the hum of the fridge. Jess walks in, right on time, her eyes searching mine. My heart's pounding, but I'm not afraid. Not anymore. This is it. The moment I've been dreading and needing all at once. Let's talk, I say, and she sits, her hands trembling. What happens next? Will I let Jess back in, or walk away for good? Stick around for the final part. You don't want to miss this. So tell me, have you ever had to face someone who broke you? Drop it in the comments, or I could use your take. I look straight into the camera, my voice calm but firm. This was it, the final face-off. But this time, I wasn't the old Mike. Begging for scraps, I lean forward, feeling the weight of everything I've been through, everything I've become. This is where I took my life back, where I learned what it means to be free. It's dusk at Earl's Diner, the neon sign buzzing softly, casting a warm glow over the cracked parking lot. Jess sits across from me in a booth, her hands clasped tight, eyes red and puffy. She's a shadow of the woman I used to know, no longer the radiant med student, just a tired 28-year-old drowning in regret. I'm not the broken man she left either. My shoulders are square, my gaze steady. 8 months in Havenwood have rebuilt me, piece by piece. Mike, Jess starts, her voice cracking. I was wrong. I threw away the best thing I had. Brittany, she pushed me, made me think I needed more, but I see it now. I'm so sorry. She's crying, tears streaking her face. And part of me wants to feel something. Anger, pity, anything. But I'm just numb. Before I can respond, the diner door jingles and a young guy walks in, maybe 25, wiry with a nervous energy. He's carrying a stack of textbooks, his clothes rumpled like he's been up all night. Earl nods at him, and he sits a few booths away, glancing at a photo on his phone. A girl in a white coat, smiling. I catch Jess staring at him, her face paling. That's Ryan, she whispers. He's like you were, working himself to death for his girlfriend. She's in med school. The irony hits me like a brick. Ryan's me, 3 years ago, pouring his soul into someone else's dream. Jess sees it too, and it's breaking her all over again. I can't let him end up like us, she says, almost to herself. I have to warn him. I lean back, my arms crossed. You think an apology fixes this, Jess? You didn't just leave me. You erased me. I gave you everything, and you tossed it for a shiny new life that's already falling apart. My voice is steady, but there's an edge to it. Why are you really here? She looks down, her hands trembling. I thought, maybe we could try again. But seeing you now, I know I don't deserve it. She pauses, then meets my eyes. I just needed you to know I'm sorry, and I'm trying to be better. I nod, letting her words settle. Earl's voice echoes in my head. Forgive for you, not them. I forgive you, Jess, I say, and I mean it, but we're done. I wish you well, but my happiness, it's not with you. She nods, tears falling, and stands. Goodbye, Mike, she whispers, and walks out, pausing to talk to Ryan. I don't hear what she says, but he listens, his face shifting from confusion to something heavier. Maybe she's saving him from her mistakes. Maybe she's starting her own second chance. Earl slides into the booth, across from me, a knowing look in his eyes. My ex came back once, he says, his voice gruff. Begged me to take her back. I said no. Best decision I ever made. Let me love myself again. He claps my shoulder. You did good, kid. Outside, Clara's waiting by my truck, her hair catching the last of the sunset. She doesn't ask about Jess, just takes my hand, her touch grounding me. We walk toward the horizon, the sky blazing orange and pink. Behind us, Jess sits with Ryan at the diner, their voices low, starting a new story. I glance at Earl's sign, where second chances begin, and smile. Losing Jess, I say to the camera, my voice clear, was how I found myself. What about you? Ever get a second chance that changed everything? Share it in the comments, and subscribe for more stories like this.